Today's workout is workout number 2 from the Progressive Strength Building series. We're going to work for 45 seconds and 15 seconds rest with simple movements to tone and strengthen the body. We're going to build on workout number 1, so make sure you've done that one first. You'll need a set of light to moderate dumbbells and an optional step. Let's get started. Hey mamas, welcome to our Progressive Strength series. This is workout number 2. So we're going to take the moves in workout 1, we're going to add complexity and a little bit of intensity. So now knowing what we did previously, what's your weight selection? Heavy for legs, lighter for upper body, or maybe the same weights if that's all you've got. Body weight works too. We're gonna start with a deadlift variation, so grab those heavy weights. I've got a little bit heavier myself today, 25 pounds each. Take your feet wide here, and then we're gonna hinge from the hips, taking those weights down, same range about mid-shin, and then drag them up. So the wide stance, we're gonna turn those toes out, and then we're gonna get more of that work into the hamstring and glutes that way. So I'll show you here from the side profile. So feet are wide, hinging, keeping those weights close still to the legs, pushing back, so we feel that nice stretch in the hamstrings, keeping the back nice and straight, keeping the chin tucked in, driving down through the heels, squeeze your butt to the top. It's natural to kind of go slower on the way down and then quicker on the way up to really get that glute activation. So right here, use that breath to assist you in standing up a little quicker than the descent. One more. We're gonna stay with the sumo theme and now we're going to a sumo squat. So you're gonna take the feet a little bit wider even than that deadlift. So turn the toes out. Dumbbells are gonna go between the legs, or you can keep them up or lose them all together. Here we go. So drive knees out, stand up, squeeze your butt. Drive knees out, stand up, squeeze. So knees are pushing out through the middle feet now, and we're keeping the posture upright, although hinging a little forward as we hit that squat. Target is the same as the regular squat, but almost to knee level or about knee level. Try when you stand up, push down through the outer edges of the feet, like you're trying to push the floor apart, and that's gonna get more of that work into the hips and activate more of that back body power. So hips, glutes, hamstrings. So we're getting a little bit more muscle with this lower body sumo squat. Couple more. Nice. Okay, now we're gonna just keep one dumbbell. So you can also do body weight or lose just one with me. We're gonna take the weight to the collarbones. We're gonna do side to side monster walk. So start on one end of the mat. We're gonna squat down and walk it side to side. However many you can get on the length of your mat. You want your butt almost knee level, but if you're finding you're arching your back or rounding your back, come up a little higher. But the more bend you can get in those knees, the further you can push your hips back into that squat, the more you're gonna get out of it. So it's a lateral movement, right? We're not stepping out that wide, but wide enough to get across. Keeping that chest up. Again, sit back into those heels so you feel the weight shift into your heels, not in the toes. We want to make sure it stays out of the joints, in the muscle. Whew. All right, grabbing your additional weight, we're gonna grab the step. This time we're doing a 3/4 step up. So one foot's gonna go on the step or the stairs or whatever you got, books. And we're gonna come up 3/4 of the way. So stopping here, you might shake a little, that's cool. Lower back down, touch the foot, and then repeat. So that heel on the bench is what's giving you power. Press it down. You don't use your back foot. Let me show you. Do you see that? It's controlled from the front leg. The back leg is just for balance. So that front leg, squeeze the glute, push the heel into that bench. Slow and controlled, use your breath. And the more you can control it, the better, because we're keeping that pressure in the leg, even on the way down. Do you see that? I'm lowering my leg really slowly and intentionally. Rest. Okay, dumbbells down, shake it out. We're gonna hit the same thing, other leg, 3/4 step up. This one is a quad burner. So opposite foot comes on, make sure it's all the way on there. Keeping that weight shifted forward slightly will help keep that load in the glute and the quad and that front leg. So again, the back foot is just barely touching the ground. It's just for stability. You can also hold on to a wall, but again, make sure you're not using the wall to help pull you up, just for balance. Nice work, you guys. Okay, bench is out of the way. We're gonna move to a backward stepping lunge. So we're gonna start on one leg and switch to the other leg. So make sure your feet are under your hips. Nice, good posture here. We're gonna stay on one side. So take a big step back, knee drops toward the floor and step in. 90 degrees with those knees, just like we did in the first workout with that split lunge. This one, we are just adding that element of instability with the back step. So we're pressing through that front heel, squeeze your butt, stand tall. And that little stability, or instability rather, is gonna work the stabilizers in the legs and core, and then add a little bit more of a cardio component. So you might feel like you're working harder, because you are. That front glute is working hard as you stand up. Feel that glute connection. Rest, dumbbells down for a sec, shake it out. That grip strength is gonna be challenged in a lot of these too. We've got the dumbbells for long intervals. All right, brace that core, lock it in. We're going to same thing, other side. Let's go. So a great time to reassess where you're at with the weights. Is it challenging from the start? You don't want to hit failure right away, but you do want to feel like every rep is pushing you. And then by the end, you do hit failure or you're really close. That's how you know you've got the right resistance, the right range, the right technique. So always be at reassessing that. And then maybe next workout, you could tweak things a little bit, see if it makes a difference. Because if we're not getting close to failure, we're not really building muscle, we're not really changing. A little burn is not gonna cut it. Has to be close to that limit. All right, kickstand rows. You can use your heavy weight here or a lighter weight, just one. We're gonna hinge from the hips, step one foot back, a foot or two, and then keep the weight in the same hand of the extended leg. Hinge forward from the hips, and we're gonna pull that weight to the hip and then release. So your back is long and straight. You're pulling the weight to the hip, but you're not opening to the front. You're staying square to the side. Weight is predominantly in that front leg. The back leg is just for balance. And you might play around with how close or how far away it is to you, but just know that majority of that weight is in that front leg. Now, if this is too difficult, find a wall, place it here, lighten the load, of course, or you can also bring the feet under the hips if that is more helpful in finding more stability here. It's gonna be challenging for the upper body, for that glute with the front leg. We're really isolating that too. Rest. We're gonna repeat that, same thing, other side. Whew. It's not cardio, but your heart rate, you'll feel it. It's gonna go up as a natural reaction to all that strength training we're doing, putting the body under pressure. Again, leaning into that front leg. I like to make the analogy or the comparison of looking over a cliff. You want to see what's below, but you don't want to fall off. So you're keeping everything stable and engaged, pushing through that front heel. Good posture. Core is always braced. Really controlled on that descent with the row. So you're not just pulling with power, you're also lowering with control and intention. Keeping that pressure in the muscle, that's what we're all about. When we're on with that interval. Okay, lose the weight and grab your lighter weights now for a lying tricep extension. So you can use one dumbbell or two here. We're gonna come to our back, knees up, heels down, weights up over the shoulders, close together. We're gonna take those weights back to the temples and then lift them up over the shoulders. Let's repeat that. So elbows up, weights to the temples, and then come back up. Now, we're working triceps here, so we want to keep those elbows in, wrists nice and strong, and then extend all the way up over shoulder line. Now, if you've got two weights and you want to drop to one, here's what that would look like. You hold the ends, you take it to your crown of your head, and then rise. Elbows in, forearms should be about parallel to each other. So you can kind of play around with that, what feels good for you today. Is it two weights? Is it one weight? Maybe you've got one heavier weight, so you have to drop to just one weight, and that works great too. Okay, we're gonna go to a tricep press. So we're gonna take the weights. You can either keep them separated or push them together. I'm gonna keep them separated about shoulder width apart. We're gonna press them down to the ribs and then push up to the ceiling. So down to the ribs, up over shoulders. Keeping the elbows in. They should just graze the ribs and then target the floor when they come down. Triceps are a smaller muscle group, so you may find they fatigue faster and cannot handle as much weight. So that's perfectly fine. You may just need to make some adjustments for some of these exercises specifically. Keeping those shoulders away from the ears. Even as you lift up, try not to shrug or take those arms too far back. We want it about over the shoulder line here. Relax. Okay, now we're gonna take it to the knees for kneeling bicep curl. So grab those same weights, lighter weights or heavy. Maybe you do a lot of biceps. You know what you can do. All right, feet under hips, knees under hips. Bring the weights up to shoulders and then back to the legs. This is gonna challenge you because we've taken away the stability of having the feet on the ground. So try to keep your glutes relaxed but abs gently braced, and try to resist swinging your hips. Try to control the weights just using your biceps. It's gonna be more challenging that way. But if you need it, you can always come to your feet if this is not comfortable or not easy for you. Use that breath work to get the weights up. Again, slow and controlled. You should be having to slow down at this point. If you're still like breezing through when we've got 7 seconds left, you need a heavier weight in your hands. Nice job. Okay, we're gonna stay with the weights, but come to our feet, add that stability back. We're gonna do a mid-range curl. So we're gonna come to belly button and then down to the legs. Really challenging that muscular endurance here. Soften the knees, abs tight, here we go. So mid-range is about belly button height. Elbows come under the shoulder line. Wrists strong, elbows close to the ribs. We're stopping where the pressure is the greatest, right there in that mid-range. So that's where we're really gonna feel that muscle contraction. Slow lower back down to those legs, keeping that pressure on as long as possible. Getting close, but we're not there yet. All right, moving to an alternating shoulder press. I'm just gonna shake it out for a second because those weights, whoo, they're feeling heavy. Okay, one arm at a time, we're gonna press over the shoulders. So starting with those weights about shoulder height, I'll show you a couple options here. So we're gonna take the arm up, extend it to the ceiling, opposite arm. So this would be level one. The weights just kind of rest on your shoulders. Abs are braced, knees are soft. Nice neutral spine, good posture. Level two, keep the dumbbells up about 90 degrees. So that opposite arm, you can see the elbow stays about shoulder height, keeping that pressure on. Make sure as you're doing both options, you're not leaning back or letting the dumbbell go too far behind you. You want to feel like you're in control. Again, smaller muscle group, isolating the shoulders here is going to be harder. We're going to do a push press next. So for this one, we're going to take the feet a little bit wider than the hips and do a little hinge and then a push. So we're going to use a little bit of momentum from those legs. I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to take those weights to the shoulders, push the hips back, drive the weights straight up, back, drive them up. So it's not a squat. You can see my hips are just going back a little bit. But what that does allows me to get some of that momentum and power from the legs to push those heavy weights up. This one's gonna feel challenging. So if you need to take breaks, you can always come here for a second. Oh, I know I need to. It's at the very end too, which is intentional because this is our burnout. We're 10 seconds from the end. We're giving it all we've got here. A couple more, guys. 3, 2, 1. We did it. That was only workout number 2, if you can believe it. But like I said, you can always increase or decrease intensity by the weights you've got, the equipment you've got, and then by the intensity you're bringing. So stay with me. We're gonna continue to build on some of these movements, continue to challenge your strength and grow lean body mass, which I know is something we all need as we age. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll see you back here for workout number 3.